If I were to build my home, I would go with whatever my wife wanted.
You are a smart man. With our small Minnesota business, we want to support other Minnesota businesses and make our community. That was our goal. He goes like, "You need to sit down. I need to prepare you for this." I was like, "What do you mean I need to sit down?" He's like, "This is an expensive door." I was like, "How expensive are we talking?" He's like, "Are you sitting down?"
Are you sitting down? Yeah. That was only built in the extruded aluminum wood interior unit, the Marvin Ultimate. That is not gonna make somebody pass out or fall over like you almost did a few years back.
So, Ryan, well, for people that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for us as our premium window distributor.
Well, first off, thanks for having me here, number one. Been coming here for a few years, and every time I come, it's better and better every time. Today's tour was
Thank you.
Unbelievable, thoughtful, just all the different building products and the level of commitment to your homeowners and making sure that they can see, feel, and touch every product, everything that's going to go into the remodel that you're doing. And I am just blown away. I see a lot of different showrooms, and I can say SMC has an effective showroom that's going to help a lot of clients out in the Twin Cities.
And that means a lot, bro. Especially coming from you, because you see this everywhere, and we didn't want to do something that everybody else has, but at the same time, we want to make sure, like you said, see, feel, touch, and see those things that makes people, just kind of make it a little bit less stressful, when they see it and they feel it and they touch it, they know what the heck they're getting. But sending somebody a picture of it, it's completely different than when you actually see the product and it's in front of you.
I believe them being able to see it physically, check out the hardware that's going to be going in their kitchen. You can only bring so much literature and small sample pieces and satin nickel finish, matte black, and show them what would you like for your hardware finish. When they can come in and physically see it, be with the salesperson and get all the features and benefits right there, what it looks like, the embossment of the tile, I think it's a home run. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, buddy.
It's amazing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. That was our goal, and it was so hard to execute some of those things, where it's like, we're in it every day. So it's like you want to showcase people something that doesn't come naturally to you, but like be so direct that it makes sense what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to achieve, how you're trying to showcase certain products, and not put so much in there to make it more complex, to make it more of let's take an approach on it where, here's like a version of good, better, best, here's your 3 choices that help you finalize that and not just go through, there's so many different products out there, but what we're trying to do with some of this stuff is bring it more local, keep it as much as we can to our community, our, state, our,
the neighbors.
Yes.
The neighbors.
Exactly. Want to support, with our small Minnesota business, we want to support other Minnesota businesses and make our community, as best as we can with our involvement in what we do. So that was our goal. And I'm like, okay, if it's not in Minnesota, well, let's see how we can go to Midwest.
Let's make sure there's a beautiful story behind it at least.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's one thing I did notice, a lot of support for the local manufacturers, whether it's the siding, it's the windows, it's the countertops, the hardware. So,
well, that brings you in.
Yeah.
So how do you help us with that? Because there's some of your stuff out there as well that you provided us with.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Kelly Enterprise. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about what you do at Kelly and about obviously our services that we kind of do with you, which is mainly Marvin Windows and our Provia doors.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for asking. First and foremost, my name is Ryan, last name's Kelly. And my story is I grew up with a father who was in the building products industry. So when I was a young kid, he would bring me out to job sites, dropping off screens or different things at job sites because he was in Windows as well. And so when I get the famous question of, Ryan, how long have you been in the industry? Well, it can go 2 ways. I can say my whole life because I've been to the job sites as a kid, or I can give them just the 10-year. I've been in it for about a decade, but Building products, got into insurance restoration sales when I was 18, knocking doors with a local contractor, pretty much doing just roofing and siding. And when there's windows, there was windows involved, but it was exterior. It wasn't anything interior. And did that for the storms, had a fun time, and really learned a lot about the roofing, the siding, the skeleton of the home.
You're telling me that's why you're such a smooth talker now.
It was all about knocking them doors,
That's where
baby.
you honed that in right there.
Yep, all about no thank you, and just, if you have a few seconds, I'd just like to explain to you why your neighbors, signed up with SMC. Do you have a few minutes? And I guess I do. So
now I do.
Yeah, now I do, because you have that trust level of, I understand. Can I explain why the Johnsons signed up with SMC? If you just have a few moments, and okay. So
and who can say that? Who can say no to that face? Huh?
Or that face, or that face.
Yeah.
So
this is our closer right here. So whoever doesn't see it, we're talking about Ernie.
Ernie gets the clients across the finish line. If they haven't found all the trust within just Sanan and Ennis and the whole team, Ernie definitely brings them to that point.
He pushes that, right?
Yeah, definitely. But then, so that was the exterior, and then it slowly moved into the interior. So I helped out with the bathrooms and the kitchens and designs, and that's why today I'm so blown away. It's because my entry years in the building products industry was the exterior, and then slowly worked into the interior, learned the whole skeleton of the home. When you come here today, I can see the effectiveness just based on the process that I used to go and present, which was a beautiful process for what I had at the time. But this just brings it to a whole new level of comfort and effectiveness for your homeowner, 100%.
Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that.
So then from there, got into business to business. Went to a local supplier and specialized in the roofing, the siding, the decking, the spindles, the railings, aluminums, you name it. And that's where I really started to build a lot of my relationships with the SMCs, and really diving into the product knowledge and how it's put together. Windows were always the most challenging. They were always the toughest, and that's why I liked them, because everyone ran the other way. When that's the thing about getting ahead and pursuing something worthy is, it's challenging and it's fulfilling, right?
It's one of the things that I think why it's so challenging to many people. The mistakes that you make are not so forgiving.
They're not.
And you can have a lot of windows if you don't know what you're doing.
You pay for them in a few different ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With your homeowner, whether it's not getting your final payment or it's now the job isn't as profitable.
Yep.
Windows are custom, even if it's a stock size.
Yep.
If it's not purchased from a Menards or Home Depot or something, good luck returning it.
Yep.
You'll have, they call it a bullpen of windows, and so measure twice, cut once. Windows are challenging. So when we were at the building products distributor, my brother, father, and I, we really saw the challenge of windows in the field. Mm-hmm. It was the lack of communication, the lack of field guidance, getting final selections, the types of measurements, because there's a few different ways to measure, which I know you understand.
Yep.
And we thought to ourselves, what's a way that we can help our clients be more effective in the field with windows? Less mistakes, helping, guiding, and getting people involved with a good product, an honest product that's going to be good for their home. And my brother, father, and I, we came up with our plan of action after a lot of planning, and it was to create a company that specialized only in windows and doors, to the professional builder and contractor, a company that's focused and can be your resource, almost like your agent in the field. Your salesperson's at the home and gets hit with a few questions of glass. Glass is scary. There's a lot of different types of glass.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. A comfort level for them is, well, I don't have that answer. However, I think I might know someone who does.
Yep.
And our team, we're there to help. We're excited.
I like just to hold that thought for a second. I like that part when you guys were like, when you brought in your measures, and when you said, we're gonna do it differently. We're gonna have a gold, bronze, and silver, right? I think that was the first part of it that you guys kind of started, mentioning, and then it's like,
that
all right,
that differentiation,
yeah, between everybody else, and it's like, okay, here's the first one of, we're just looking for quote, that's gonna be bronze, we're just gonna go and do a quick, here's what the numbers are, if a job sells, then we can go into further details of what's going on. And right before we place an order, the silver, what was the silver going to be? Sorry, I'm missing it up
we got it. Silver, gold, platinum, and silver is just Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. They're interested in windows because SMC, you just did their roofing and siding, and you just did their bathroom. But now they say, hey, Sinan, do you do windows? And you go, of course we do. Of course we do windows. But you don't want to tear a casing off and get all these final measurements and get all the specs because it's time consuming and it's tedious if the homeowners just wants numbers. They just want to see if they're interested. So a rough width and height specs of the windows, we're going to get you the cost. You have your product cost, you add your labor and accessories. You present to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson and they say, Sinan, it looks great. I'm so excited.
Perfect.
Now from silver, now it's going to go into gold status, which means they're now moving across the finish line. They're dedicated to SMC. They want to work with SMC. Now we're going to get the installer out to the job site, or the NS, or the Sinan, the ones who understand how the windows go in. And we're going to get the width, and we're going to figure out down to the 64th of what that width needs to be, our height, our jam depth, the code compliances, the hardware colors, the screen options, different things. And
I gotta tell you that part, and I know I'm interrupting you in your next one, but I just want to tell you how many times that, not that it like saved my ass, but in essence it did, because it would have brought more challenges to the job, where at that point you were like, okay, so many times you're like, landings,
doors, floors, and tubs.
Yes. That was all the time. And they're like, all right, let's check which ones, And I'm like, oh my God, yes, you're right. There's one of them, And there's always at least one of them,
Always.
Where that was like, okay, now we can make sure that we have that temper window, that it's not holding up a job, that it's not messing anything up, And I want to say that was the part that, sometimes you're going through these appointments and it feels like you're always in a hurry, or you get interrupted before that thought even gets to you by a question by a homeowner or somebody else, where, it's like you forget completely about it. And, you were always the one to mention it and be like, okay, we just want to make sure that we include that so that we update that quote so that we don't forget it,
Right.
And that's what I really appreciated, that, I'm like, okay, they actually do care as much as I do about this, At the same time, it's going to cause delays, ordering more products, sticking around that job. That transaction could have been smooth when we install all the windows, do that, but now we got to come for that one more, which is just annoying to everybody, And as much as they're excited about getting new windows, but they're also excited to get you in and out as fast as possible as well, from homeowner standpoint. And I like that part that you guys brought in, that I don't think anybody else that we worked with at that time has even thought about it, let alone anything else.
Hey, your successful window order is our successful window order.
Exactly.
And it's just, it works, it's for your homeowner at the end of the day, right? The windows are expensive, it's an experience. So silver, rough measurements, nobody's moved forward with anything. It gets approved by the homeowner, now it goes into gold. We meet yourself, your installer, whoever at the job site, final measurements, code compliances, options, hardware. Once I have that, I go back to the office. All of that information gets updated into the software. Now we call that platinum. So that means it's ready to order. It's been triple checked.
Yep.
And we all can go to sleep knowing that in that lead time, because windows, they don't come tomorrow.
I know.
That's another thing, is windows the lead times can be extended, so that mistake could be a timely, costly error. So
oh my God, yeah.
that from what we found has prevented a our clients from purchasing the wrong windows and doors, hires their profitability, their process is smoother, they're in and out, because that's what most people want it now. They want it done. Sinan, we saw it on HGTV that they did a bathroom in 24 hours. You know, why are you saying 6 weeks?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's the famous one. You know, it's like, oh my God, you have no idea how much work went into that, you know, prior to anything. And it's actually, you know, it shows that it's a one day, or it shows that whatever, but they've been filming for 30, you know. But
does that come up often with you? Somebody says, well, I saw on TV 24 hours.
Why are all these people advertising this as a, you know, a quick, you know, a day install, blah, 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 you know, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, let me just put it in perspective of what needs to happen from us, you know, in order to do this, and how many things we got to jump through to make sure that, you know, we get our inspections, and, you know, we have our plumber, we have our electrician, we have whoever is, you know, involved in that job, and every one of them needs an inspection. So we just cannot possibly do that in that short amount of time. And I'm like, even if everything aligned, and even if we scheduled everything ahead, and we planned everything ahead, you don't know what you're going to open up once you open up that wall, you know, and what you're going to find. And what other...
how long does it take for grout to dry? Is that even 24 hours?
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if you do that, like the tile itself needs at least 24 hours to cure before you can grout. You know?
Before you can do punch list
after. Exactly. Exactly. So I was like, we're not that company. We don't sell that product. We don't do that. And I'm like, there's no way that I'll ever promise anybody, you know, in such a short amount of time. Like,
maybe a proposal.
Proposal, yes.
And that's maybe difficult.
Even that is maybe
electrical,
exactly.
Cabinets, tile. I need to gather all these costs.
I know.
And I'm not going to guess, because I want you to have a fair price.
That's the thing.
I don't want to lowball it or have it too high.
Exactly. And when I tell people that, you know, it's like, okay, do you want something that I throw off the hip, you know, and you're going to hold me to it, whatever it is, you know? And it's like, no, I won't hold you to it. Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
I know you will.
Yeah,
I know you will.
So I won't just ballpark me to the lower bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, 10,000 comes in at 14.9.
Yep. It's like, my budget was 10.
You said 10.
Yeah.
No, I was there. You said 10 last week.
Yep. And that's truly how it ends up in a lot of it. So it's, you know, it's people. It's dealing with people. And you gotta...
Well, people can also appreciate and sense when you want more time, and you break down to them why this isn't going to be 2 weeks. I'm so happy that this window and bath company said that they can knock it out in a week.
Yep.
That's great. And if you're comfortable with them and you like them,
by all means,
I want you to move forward with them.
Yep.
Here's why I can't do that.
Yep.
And these are the reasons. And once they hear you out,
yep,
most of the time they're going to think to themselves and go, that certainly makes sense. And I don't know how this other company could do that.
Right.
Now that you've broken out the timeline, that makes sense. And it builds the trust, the quality of the project.
Exactly.
Everything.
And I was telling Raju, I was like, you know, a lot of companies are just heavy salespeople, you know, and they're just trying to get in there. Exactly. They've been they've been taught the process of selling, but they don't know what they're selling. They don't have a clue as to what they're selling, you know. And when you come to sell something like that, and you don't know what you're doing or what you're saying, you know, you're gonna say a lot of things that are not, you know, that are false, you know, because you don't know what you're looking at. First of all, second of all, you were just given the script that you memorized, and you're just going off the script and how you work your rebuttals. You know?
Do all these windows have a lifetime warranty on the hardware? Oh, well, yes, they do. Are these triple point multi-lock systems? Why, yes, they are. Everything down the list. And
yep. And you sign here today.
And you sign here today. And if you sign today, 40% off.
Yes.
40% off today.
Let me call my manager to see if I can get you additional 10 because I like you.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, oh my God.
No,
or
what they really did is they started out, I usually don't do this, but because I like you.
Yeah.
And that's way more often. I would say I see that in Windows all the time.
I see it in everything.
Yeah.
You know, I see it in every single thing. And yeah, and I tell people, like, I hate that. I hate that approach. I hate that, you know, I don't ever want to be let me see the max I can squeeze out of somebody, and then I'll work my way down to whatever their budget is. No, I'm going to tell you honestly what this is going to cost. Maybe you want to hear that, maybe you don't want to hear it. You know, maybe it's going to be less than you thought, maybe it's going to be more than you thought. But here's the truth, you know, and then you make that decision. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna call you 17 times. I'll call you maybe 3 times just to see, like, hey, is there something that maybe, you know.
You brought up something so important. I feel like
tell me.
So like when you're at the job site, you're going over windows or a bath, and you want to know the homeowner's budget, but the homeowner doesn't want to tell you because they feel like they don't want to tell you their budget, because if they say too high, now you can pump up your numbers, or if they say too low. But I think the most effective thing somebody could do with an honest person like yourself is give you their budget.
Yeah.
If you have $10,000, I want to know, because I'm going to work that backwards, and I'm not going to present you with a bathroom that's going to cost $22,000.
Right.
If you tell me your budget, it's not because I'm looking to give you that price at the top. It's so I can work it backwards and get you something that you want, you're comfortable with, you're excited.
You hit a nail on the head with that. When I ask somebody for a budget, it's like I don't ask you for any other reason than to see, first, are we even in the same ballpark of what you want to spend on something like this?
Got $2,000.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, that's going to get you one window.
Yeah.
You know, which one do you want? Mm-hmm. You know, I got the whole thing of windows. Well, it's like, that's, I'm sorry, but this is what it is. So I say, listen, when I ask for a budget, I want to say if we're realistically in the ballpark of where this could be or where this could come in. If we're not, I want you to know that right away, so that I'm not sitting there and doing this estimate for 45 minutes to an hour to 3 hours, depending on how big it is and what you're actually looking for, you know, and calling all these people that I'm going to be using on this, asking for specific questions that I'm seeing and that are red flags at this place that I have here, and sending them pictures and whatever. I want to know if we're somewhere close, so that I can A, give you everything on your list, or B, be like, well, based upon what you told me, if that is true, this is the max that we can provide for you. You know, whatever that is. And maybe it might not be the entire bathroom, but it might just be a shower enclosure, because that is leaking and it's a big problem and it's whatever. You know, we can do that. That's what we can offer you at that price, you know. And a lot of people, like you said, they're too scared to say, but I don't blame them, right? I don't blame them, because, I mean, a lot of salespeople are going to try to do that, you know? It's
they're going to say $17,000, and they're going to come in at $16,900.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to go after that. It's a low-hanging fruit for them to be like, well, I'm going to get more commission out of this because I'm going to whatever. But it's like, I come to them and I'm like, I am the owner of SMC. I am not the sales guy. I'm trying to get you the best product, the best service, the best possible result for your money that you're investing into this, to solve whatever problems you had, and to not ever have any issues with this, and maybe even to be like, okay, this is a one time and you're never going to have to deal with this again, you know, lifetime guarantee on whatever we do, you know. But it's like, if you don't feel comfortable about telling me that budget, then I'm taking your story, and the story, everything that comes out of your mouth, there's a dollar sign on it, you know. You like it or not, you know, but that's how I see it, that's how I hear it. And I put all those together, and I try to give you all of your wants that you talked about, and then those wants result in whatever price that you get, you know. But I would say a lot of people that have been burnt before are the ones that are too, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of salespeople are sharks. A lot of salespeople are that, like, you know, you need to sign today. Today there's 0 interest. Today there's no install cost. Today it's just materials, you know, carpet and whatever is install is included in the carpet price. It's like, yeah, you can put it however you want to put it, you know, but they're just shifting from one bucket to another bucket.
Yeah,
and that's all it is.
Yeah.
And when I hear that, I'm like, do you want somebody here working happy at the job that they have, that are providing you with the service that you hired us for, and we're doing this together to ultimately give you the best possible result. Well, my happy employee who I'm paying a good price to have them here and be happy with their at and like what they do is going to cost a lot more than somebody who doesn't want to be there.
Definitely,
and or who is like, I don't know, almost like talked down, beat down, or whatever it is that they're,
let's just go back. I like the point of view talking about, and we could use a sub as an example, like a sub, like a tiler.
Yep.
If I have a tile person who comes in that requires a little bit more, that's going to cost you less than having somebody go back out there to fix up the less expensive craftsmanship.
Yep.
You're going to save money if you go with a quality product up front. If you have somebody building the unit with quality products, it's going to cost you less. With windows, if you go with a higher end window up front with a window with a building product that is doesn't expand or contract, just very rigid, that's going to be less expensive than going with the least expensive units.
So, what a perfect way to segue into this. From your standpoint, and from kind of what we do with Marvin, and when I'm talking about fiberglass windows to homeowners versus vinyl, right? Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite thing to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
So give me that, educate me.
Yeah, we'll call it the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll call it the truth because vinyl windows are amazing.
Yep.
They've been around. They can build wonderful shapes, styles, and sizes. They're paintable. They last a long time. My mother had vinyl windows in her home, and I believe in the porch room, they're still there. I have nothing but good things to say about vinyl windows. I'm partnered with a few great manufacturers. For the right project, they're a knock out of the park. But if we want to talk about the differences between fiberglass and vinyl, there's a difference. And when it comes to building products in Minnesota, where it's -20, and we get all the way up to 100 degrees in the summer, and sometimes it's 20 and then it's 70 the next day, vinyl is going to expand and contract a lot more than we'll talk about a fiberglass window. Mm-hmm. When you look at a vinyl window, the frame is going to expand and contract at a different rate than the glass itself. So that could be a seal failure. The vinyl, it's very rigid, but it's not the strongest building product, especially when it's been under the sun. It starts to get a little, I'm going to say noodly, right? Mm-hmm. The thing that I really like about the fiberglass units is that it's 8 times stronger than a vinyl unit. 8 times. Let's really think about
that in
8
perspective.
times.
Yeah.
Vinyl windows are everywhere. You drive through a lot of neighborhoods, and that's what you see. A lot of the white windows they're vinyl. Now we're talking about a building product that's 8 times stronger than vinyl, and that fiberglass does not expand and contract like a vinyl window would. Why is that important? It's Minnesota.
Yep.
It was 20 degrees last week, and now it's 62.
Yep.
So with that fiberglass is not moving. It's rigid. I'm going to say it again. It's 8 times stronger than a vinyl window, and it does not expand or contract. So it's just a brilliant building product for windows.
And I feel like the true maintenance-free is...
It's what everyone wants now.
Yeah.
Maintenance-free.
And I want to say also with COVID, kind of as it came into the picture and disrupted everything, the price of vinyl windows and glass and everything going up to where it is, and we keep getting these, manufacturers' price increases, every so often. They're not that far apart from fiberglass anymore.
No.
And
it's always something that every salesperson should bring up is it's not that much of an upgrade. Yep. It could be 20 to 25%. So if we're going to look at a window that's $1,000 for $1,200, you can have a window that's 8 times stronger than that fiberglass or 8 times stronger than that vinyl. Not expanding, contracting, shape, styles, and sizes, durability.
To me, it almost like if I bring that up to somebody and they're like, I'm stuck on vinyl and I want to go to vinyl. I'm like, do you just want to do this one time and be done? Mm-hmm. Or do you want to? I don't care. I'll sell it to you again. You know, you can call me 30 times and we'll keep, you know, doing it whatever you want. But I'm giving you this part that, like, I would do this in my own house. Hell, I did it in my own house.
Yeah,
you know?
Marvin Essential.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's like, I am telling you this because in everything that I've known, everything that I've seen, everything that been introduced to me, this is the product that I want to put in my house. And I'm suggesting it to you for same reasons that I see that it's like, okay, you can do this once and not worry about it again. Or, you know, yeah, fine, you know, you can save a tiny bit of money, but the install is going to be the same. The product is the same, you know. But the product, if you go with fiberglass, pay a little more, do it once, be done, and move on with your life.
Well,
you know?
Like, let me ask you this: what color windows do you have in your home?
Black.
You got sweet black windows, which a lot of people like the black windows. It's clean, they're crisp. Now, does vinyl make a black window?
No, it does not.
So vinyl, it's a tan or it's a white. However, they have options to paint them. You can paint a vinyl window black. You can paint the interior black. But check this out. You have to purchase the vinyl window, and then you have to request it to be painted. So that is a price increase for the exterior.
Yep.
Now I'd like the interior painted. That's another price increase.
Yep.
When you get that cost of a painted vinyl window and you put it right next to that Marvin Essential, it's almost the same price. Now, why would you go with a vinyl product that has that high expansion contraction rate when for the same cost, you can go with a fiberglass unit, a Marvin Essential unit that has those features and benefits of what we had talked about before, the 8 times stronger, the expansion contraction rate, the durability.
I guess I'm just going to ask you about this since I only buy Marvin windows through you. What is your favorite Marvin window?
So I ask the question right off the bat. To the homeowner, I go, do you like the wood? And that question right there, when you're in a homeowner's home, do you like the wood? They're going to go 2 ways. They're going to say, yes, we love it. The natural warmth and beauty of wood. We love the wood. It matches our cabinets. It matches our railings. Or you're going to get the answer, no, we hate the wood. Condensation, humidity builds up. It's been leaking on the windows for years. They're rotted. We hate the wood. So at that question, you know if you want to bring them towards maintenance free or if you're going to bring them towards the wood. And for that, Marvin offers 2 wonderful lines. One's Marvin Essential, which would be 100% maintenance free. Interior, exterior, fiberglass, and it's a pultruded fiberglass, so it's extremely smooth and has a beautiful finish. If they explain that they like the wood, well, now we're going to talk about Marvin Elevate. It has that same fiberglass exterior, so extremely durable, rigid. The interior is now a bare pine that's ready to be stained.
Whatever color you want.
So when you ask me what my favorite window is, I'm a maintenance-free guy. I think less is more. I want to be able to go out and do things and help people and get my daily checklist done. So the Marvin Essential, I really like because it's that maintenance-free. You know, let's say you do want to put your plants right next to the window shelf and some water gets on your window. Well, it's super easy to actually wipe it up because of that fiberglass. It's not porous. It's not absorbing water like a wood window might. My thing about it too is I love how sleek they are, and I love how you do not need as much as, for lack of a better term, I guess, meat around the frame in order to keep that glass. Bulk is out.
Right? I mean, completely. When you look at somebody's, you know, when they're talking about replacement windows and when they're putting in these windows that are, you keep the existing trim and you keep most of the old window in there, and then you bring this other bulkier vinyl window, and then you're like, well, my glass just got reduced by like 30%. You know,
Definitely.
it's like what the heck am I going to see through? You know.
So that could be those, you know, those insert units too, installing a window within a window. Which you do the full frame.
You're
going to remove the full frame out of the house. You're going to check out the sill. You're going to see if it's rotted. If it's rotted, that's going to be removed and replaced. And they're probably going to gain natural daylight because you're going to take advantage of that rough opening and get a window that fits perfectly.
That's always been our goal. And I'm like, okay, Why? The thing that a lot of people don't understand is, you can buy the best window on the market, for performance-wise, for what that window is.
Bells and whistles, everything.
Everything,
Yep.
everything, right? But where the window is failing is if you're having a poor replacement install,
Yes.
and
Oh, gosh,
everything around that window is hollow and it doesn't have anything. You literally have a gaping hole around this best thing that you possibly could get in the market.
Yeah.
And what's the point of it? Why did you pay $3,000 for this window when the install of it is so poor that any benefit that this could have gotten you is completely gone now?
Well, it's literally music to my ears. I tell contractors this, I tell homeowners, 50% of this window project is the product. It's the window. Mm-hmm. The other 50%, who's installing it and what are his methods of installation?
Yep.
Is he shimming it properly? Is he using the nail fin, the non-expanding spray foam? You can have, like you mentioned, the best window in the world with all the bells and whistles, and if it's installed improperly, the homeowner's going to think that this window, this Marvin window, is terrible, when in reality the window is wonderful and it doesn't have any spray foam.
Yep.
That's why.
Yep.
You could take the world's least expensive window,
Yep.
and if it's installed correctly, it's going to outperform world's greatest any day.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's the thing that I tell people too is like, when you're making this investment, the investment is as good as the installer, And that's all that I can say,
100%. Well, they go, oh, I want the Marvin windows, but I have somebody from Craigslist come in to install it. It's like, oh my gosh, I would rather see you buy windows from Menards and have SMC come install it.
Yep.
I guarantee.
It's like anybody who has a reputable name that is not, just don't go on Craigslist because it's not
I can start tomorrow looking for work immediately. Qualified window installer. We'll call it Blue Windows, right? Blue Windows is a manufacturer. The screens come in dinged. Now we have to work with their service department to get the screens, or the hardware is not working properly, or the frame is bent out of square. The lesser quality window that you go with is going to ultimately have a lesser quality customer service, a lesser quality shipping department, a lesser quality service field department. So when you say, Ryan, what comes with going with the least expensive window? It's going to be everything behind the product. The customer service, the shipping, the field representation. Because windows, there's a lot of different parts and components that go into it. Mm-hmm. They're built by humans and they're installed by humans. Things happen.
Oh my God, yeah. Things happen on every window and every brand of windows.
Every brand of windows.
I can't tell you that, worked with many of them. Worked with Pella, worked with Anderson, worked with Marvin, worked with, Geldman, worked with so many different manufacturers that are out there. And there was a time where I had to get the rep out there and I had to get something double checked, on what's going on. But part that I was blown away by was the service afterwards that Marvin provides and meets and exceeds compared to the other people and other manufacturers that I don't have that with. There's so many things that could go wrong. There's so many things that I feel like with other manufacturers that they don't take into consideration. They do certain testing and whatever, but I feel like for Marvin Window and for our state, they live it just like we do, and they get it more than we do. They get it harder than we do,
The War Road, we're talking the most northern point of Minnesota.
I know.
In North America. Those windows are built for the harshest weather conditions here.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, not just do we have the harshness of winter, but we have harshness of summer, and combination of what we just talked about, the shifting from one to another, is insane.
Definitely.
And it swings all the time. And
so back to your point, what you can expect with a lesser quality window, the things and challenges that can come along with it would be, for a hypothetical, all the windows come in, but the screens don't, or there's a tear in the screen. The windows get installed. Now the homeowner says, Sinan, where are my screens? Your answer is, they're coming. They're coming. And then I say, oh, well, they're coming. The truck comes, screens aren't on there. The next truck comes, the screens aren't on there. You're not able to collect final payment, close out the project. I'm hounding the manufacturer for the screens. It's this ripple effect. It's down the line. It's this big chain. Yep. So with a reputable manufacturer, which there are many, there are a lot of good companies, you're going to get the customer service that you need in the field, the representation. If there's any challenges or warranty problems, they're going to be taken care of. You know, we could call Marvin right now and someone would answer. You'll speak to a human and they'll say, city and state, please. And you'll say Minneapolis, Minnesota. And they'll transfer you to a dedicated inside sales support who understands the product like no other. Yep. Talk about extension jams, nail fins, drip caps. They understand and get it.
Wow.
It's really nice.
What is one thing that right now, I would say as a window provider, that either gets you excited or that you're kind of like geeking out about, like something that's coming either down the pipeline or something new with either any manufacturers that you heard about that could be in some way like disrupting the everyday?
Definitely.
If there is such a thing in Windows.
Yeah, something that hit the market that caused a splash.
Yeah.
So the one of them that come to my mind, there's many, but so before, you were all familiar with like a Marvin or a bifold door, a door that opens like an accordion, a stacked door, more daylight in, let's open this living room up, the lake, you got the backyard. So 2023 hits, Marvin drops a bifold door in the Marvin Elevate series. Now, if you're familiar with Marvin, you know that it's only in the Ultimate series that they have this bifold. And it's one of the most expensive products you can buy from Marvin.
I think as me and you quoted it for my house.
I think we quoted it, and it was like, the bifold was the price of all the windows.
No, like the door was more expensive than
all the windows.
Than all of the windows. Yeah. That's what it was.
It was like, is there a glitch on this cost?
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh. He goes like, you need to sit down. I need to prepare you for this. I was like, what do you mean I need to sit down? He's like, this is an expensive door. I was like, how expensive are we talking? He's like, are you sitting down?
Are you sitting down? Yeah. So that was that door, and it folds like an accordion and stacks, and that was only built in the extruded aluminum wood interior unit, the Marvin Ultimate. They introduced this winter, it's in the Marvin Elevate series, which it's a fiberglass exterior, a wood interior. What that does for all the homeowners and the contractors is they're now able to provide a beautiful scenic door that is not gonna make somebody pass out or fall over like you almost did a few years back. Now this door, it's now people can grasp and this door can connect people with the outdoors so much more at a much more budget-friendly price.
It's fiberglass and wood. Wood on the interior, fiberglass on the outside, on the exterior. And it literally folds when you start on one end. It just keeps folding together, and then you have a 10-foot door. You can have a 10-foot opening that just completely opens up to the exterior.
Yep, there's hinges on each panel, and then it just collapses in. So now you're just exposed to the outdoors.
When I started, I thought that I'm like, oh my God, this is now COVID happened. Yes. Everything is shut down. Everything here is about to be damn near shut down. And I'm like, how can I keep most of my guys? How can I keep most of this going? I'm like, hell, I was gonna work a lot more on my plans and build my house, but then I just forced that instantly because I was like, oh, I got no time to waste and I'm gonna lose all my, people, so I just wanna do this, right? So I go and I start it, and I get everything damn near wrapped up. I get to the flooring portion, that's when shortages started coming out. Me and my wife picked flooring about 5-6 times. And every time I would go to place an order, I'm like, okay, we found it. I would go place an order. They're like, nope, it's not. It doesn't. They don't have it anymore. Nope, they don't have it anymore. I'm like, God, what am I gonna do? So I, out of however many, I was like, okay, just give me any kind of flooring at this point, So the floor that I do have, it wasn't our first choice by any stretch of the imagination, but it was what was available at the time. And then all of a sudden, we were short some lumber, and I go and I pick up I remember it vividly. I go pick up a 2x6 green treated from Home Depot, and I'm like, this is $20? I'm like, what in the hell is this? You know, like I'm like blown away, you know. And then all of a sudden, lumber prices just skyrocket. Right? Everything that I have purchased and everything that I have done, I was done with my house. The only thing was the front door. It took forever to get in. And that was holding my inspection, and I was on him all the time. I was calling him
I
like,
enjoyed it because I got to talk to you every day.
You did. But they're like, okay, it's coming. No, it's not. It's coming. No, it's not. It's coming. No, it's not.
Your front door.
So my front door. So I call him, and I was like, dude, I'm ready to move in. I'm ready for my inspections. I'm ready for all this. The only thing I don't have. Now, may I add, it's December. Like, it was December. It was cold. I have 2 pieces of plywood blocking my entire entry to the entire house that's finished, right? And I don't have the front door. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm living at my parents' house with my wife and kids. You know, this successful contractor who's at mama's house and dad's house. My kids are going crazy, like disturbing my parents' peace. You know, me and my wife come home and, you know, from work, and I'm like, oh God, you know, it's like, are you done yet? I'm like, no, she's like, I love your parents, but you're killing me. You know, I'm like, I know, just hang in there. And I was like, Ryan, I'm going to kill you. Where's the door? You know, so anywho, door's not coming. I was like, screw it. That's it. Everything there skyrockets. I'm like, I go to Home Depot, I buy a door, I buy some 2x6s, I buy some drywall, and I buy some siding. I call a few people. I said, I need you at my house right away. They're like, why? I said, I'm moving in. I don't give a shit. You know, so I get in there. I frame down my door opening. I put in a tiny door, and like I have 2 skylights and a big door, right? So now I framed all that down to fit in regular door in this big ass opening, right?
It's a big.
So,
it has
so
a
there's
huge
a grand
overcave,
entry and everything, you know. Yes.
Little 3680.
So then like the neighbors are going by and they're like, "What's with the door?" You know, I go like, I ran out of money. So now, like, I'm like, okay. My wife is like, okay, when are we moving in? I'm like, I have no idea. You know, she doesn't know that this is happening. So I insulated it. I got everything done. I got it ready. I just put some trim around where the regular door is gonna go, and we put that door in, and we moved in. We ordered furniture. We did everything. We didn't have the furniture, so I was like, same day. Grabbed all the stuff from the office, brought it over there. I went and I grabbed her and I said, hey, you're coming with me. She's like, where are you going? I said, let's go grab some dinner. So I pre-ordered. At that time, kids were obsessed with Perkins, and you couldn't go a lot of places to grab anything. So I grabbed some stuff from Perkins. I get home. This furniture is in there with this table and everything else. I set it up already. I walk them in, and I was like, welcome home. And like everybody started crying, you know, everybody was ready. Everybody's ready to come in, move in. So that was our getting in. But now everything that I thought that I was in the midst of this disaster and world pandemic of what's happening, I did not know that the prices are going to start skyrocketing, right? So I do that, and then I close on my loan, and I, you know, finish all of that. And my loan at that time, when we refinanced everything and kind of settled the building loan and all of that, it was like 2.2%. Right now it's like 7%. Right?
Built at the right time.
At that time, I was like, it is what it is. You know, I didn't appreciate it because I didn't know what, like, not to appreciate, you know. So that part, and then the cost part. And then I'm thinking to myself, you know, we're looking at some other builds for other people, and we're putting the prices together, and I'm going off the prices that, you know, I just built my house off of, right? And then I'm looking at this, and I'm like, ooh, hold on, this should be good, you know? I'm like, just before I release that, let me make some phone calls, you know? And I resend it, and all of a sudden, like 30% more, 40% more, for everything. So my house, if I waited just a little longer, I got it in a nick of time for everything that was done. If I waited just a little longer, I would have paid God knows how much more for it. And the interest rate on the loan and everything else, it would have been insane. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the blessing is not disguised as a blessing. We just don't see, you know, what's coming your way. So there's a little bit of thought there. But then finally Ryan calls me in the middle of March, I think.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Dude,
he's like,
long?
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
we already moved in.
Yeah.
We've been living there for a little bit. He's like, the door's in. I was like, fuck it. You keep it for about, till spring, till like snow goes away. Then we'll get it in. And he gets it delivered.
It's the same door that you have right now.
Yeah, it's the same door.
you
But I
like
mean,
the
we
door?
waited for it forever.
Swaggy door. It honestly is so cool.
I know.
It's it's such a cool door.
It literally, the craziest thing of it all that I could have ever, like, if somebody could have used this as a promotional thing, this is the funniest thing. There's a guy walking around our neighborhood selling something. I don't know what he's selling, but he has one of those highlighter, construction shirts on, and he's walking on, and my ring picks him up, and he doesn't know, but as he's walking, he's like, God damn, that's a sexy door.
You heard him walking into the neighborhood?
No. I mean, this was so long ago, and it was kind of like a springtime, and he's walking up my driveway, and he's walking up the,
it
sidewalk,
starts to record.
and it starts to record. He had no idea, and I get a, ring thing, and it's like ding ding, whatever, and I was like, I didn't, look at it right away, but it recorded it, and he didn't ring a doorbell. He just left a piece of literature, whatever he was doing there.
It's recording.
But it was recording, and he's walking up, he's like, God damn, that's a sexy door, So I told him, I go like, well, you won something. Like, yes, it was, we were waiting forever.
That was the number one thing I wanted to hear. And then Ennis had to tell me, like, yeah, by the way, I don't know if Sinan will ever tell you this, but Sinan loves the door. I was like, Ennis, are you being serious right now? And he's like, oh yeah, Sinan will never admit it, but he loves the door.
I told him. I
yes.
said to Ryan, I was like, I'm going to hold this against you. He's like, it wasn't my fault. I'm like, I know it wasn't your fault. So, but that's kind of what it took. And that kind of transitions us to, I guess, this door talk. Yes, I have that door, and it's there, and it's been performing really well for now going on third year. But let's talk about that door, and let's talk about that door company, and let's talk about why you partner up with that, and why are you, I guess, crazy about it as I am?
Well, number one, doors. It's the safety, it's the aesthetic, and it builds the natural foundation of your home, right? This barrier protects your family from the outdoors. So this isn't something to be taken lightly. Front door, there's multiple different building products it can be built out of. It could be an authentic wood door, it could be a steel door, or it could be our new favorite, fiberglass.
Yep.
A fiberglass door. We like fiberglass because it's not conductive. If it's negative 30 on the outside, it's not conducting that cold onto the interior like a steel door possibly could.
That is the most impressive part about it.
Yeah, so that fiberglass, and what they can do with fiberglass is, like on your door, they're able to replicate that wood look. Mm-hmm. Now, we love to work with Provia. Provia front entry doors, they're out of Ohio. They've been around for coming up 50 plus years, and Provia specializes in doors. And they really stand out in their fiberglass doors. They can take fiberglass now and have it replicate Douglas fir, maple, mahogany, oak, you name it. And they emboss the panels, so see, feel, and touch, it's like an authentic wood door without all the maintenance. You don't have to worry about the expansion, contraction, and the door operating really smoothly in January, and then come humid July, now the door is stuck shut and you're having to force it open. When we talk about fiberglass, you're not getting that massive expansion, contraction, but you're getting that natural beauty of wood. And like when we talk about your door, I think you have an 8-foot high panel. Mm-hmm. Talk about rigidity. Fiberglass is so strong, and you got kiddos.
Oh yeah.
And they're outside, they're like chipping golf balls, they're throwing things at each other. If something happens to hit your fiberglass door, no harm done. Yep. No worries. It's such a thick fiberglass and it's so durable versus maybe a steel door.
That would have had a ding.
A big ding.
Yep.
And if it was a wood door, could be a chip or a scrape, or it takes the stain out of the door. We love fiberglass, and we know that it can bridge the gap from entry-level projects all the way up to an extremely, extremely high-end project.
Definitely. I love the point that you just made about, like, I had wood doors, I had steel doors, and now with fiberglass. My God, what a door, and when it comes to all of that and everything that you have mentioned, the dings, the scratches, the
expansion, contraction.
Exactly. Yeah. I have experienced all of that with all of the other doors numerous times, where with this door still to this point, I mean, I haven't, ever since we installed it, I haven't touched it. I mean,
and talk about a heavy swing too.
My God, yeah, it is heavy.
That thing is shut. You don't know. Yeah. You could tell if it was on a creek. No, you can hear that thing secure.
And I love the way when it closes and when it locks. To me, it's almost like a reminder of like a car door, and a cheap car door. It's like when you hit it, it's like hollow, and it's like,
you can tell the difference. It's drink, and you hear it like rattle.
Yeah. And then this is like when you really close it, and when you like, it's so heavy, it's just like whoop, it's like that luxury feel of
firm, sturdy, security.
Yes. No, it's so weird. Like it's so weird to even talk about it like that.
Could be like your glasses frames. When you fold them shut, if you get the least expensive pair of glasses, they're just gonna flop shut.
Yeah.
And then you move your glasses, and then they flop open.
Yep.
But if you get a nice high-end quality pair, those hinges are gonna very nicely close your glasses and very nicely open them.
Yep.
Same thing with doors. Some people think, hey, a door is a door. I just want to close it. That's it.
That's the thing about the Previa brand, and the same thing of that why we push them so much is because of the warranty, is because of the quality, and is because of the story of how they became too, and why they're so dedicated to their product. Yes, it's definitely expensive, however, to me, it comes to, again, going back to like, do you want to do this once?
That's just it. Do you want to do this? Should we do one door for 30 years?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do a new door every 7?
Exactly.
And then after 50 years, you paid way more.
Right.
And if you'd have just invested a little bit more, number one, you'd have been able to live with a beautiful door and used it every day and received the compliments and had your home more aesthetically pleasing.
Yep.
Or you take the easy way out and you get a cheap door, and then in 4 years you get another cheap door. 4 years later, you get another cheap door. Those 3 cheap doors, that is the price of one beautiful ass door, where you'd have had that forever, but now you're stuck in this downward spiral. It's more expensive.
Yes.
It's more expensive to go cheap.
Exactly. And that's the thing that, it's not that I'm trying to say that I'm marking this up to you for XYZ price, because whatever, it's just that it's a more quality product, more durable. It is a premium product. It is a premium that, as you look at this door, it's an investment, because you'll never have to mess with this ever again. And the warranty that it comes with is, nobody else will match it in the market, So that's the part where, sometimes it goes to show why you want to go with a little bit better quality than
100%.
As famous quote by Ennis goes all the time. He's like, I'd rather not have a floor than a shitty window. It's like, I want to have a good window, and then I'll think about when I can afford a floor. 100%. It's like, I just want to make sure that I have that thing function, especially here and especially in our state. And that's the thing. Like, if you're not in it, and it's like when you come to a homeowner and somebody needs a window. There's a difference of why they need it and how they need it, and who understands what about the window. And, it's like window is a window, door is a door, opening is an opening. Yeah, but all of those little things can add up, and can save you energy, can benefit, ultimate goal, whatever it is that you're trying to do with it. But at the same time, you can do this once, do the right product, do the right install. Your energy cost savings are going to be
bills going down.
all of that, which is extremely important. If you can hit all of those, then and pay a little bit more for that premium, I would say you're going to save a lot more in the long run than you would
Definitely, and you'll have fun while
inferior
you're doing
product.
it.
Exactly.
Because you'll love your windows and your doors.
Truly.
Definitely.
Truly.
When you present somebody with a product like a window or a door, they want to know the cost, they want to know the options, and then we get the famous question of what's the lead time? What's the lead time? And over the past few years, when it was so difficult to get all of these building products for windows and doors, lead times shot up to could be 24 weeks, 6 months out for windows and doors. And the contractors or the manufacturers letting us know that lead times are extended. We have to pass that on, and then the contractor passes that on to the homeowner. So I would say lead times are always a main focus for major manufacturers. Getting the contractor, the distribution center, the product in the quickest possible turnaround time. I think lead times is something that affects distribution and it affects the manufacturer. Because everyone wants to get the product as soon as possible. Everyone wants to start the project, finish, get paid, and move on.
I think the lead times have been, I thought they were notorious before COVID, but like right now, there's just so many things that affected, from transportation to lack of people, to lack of product, to lack of resources, to lack of transportation of resources. All of that contributed. We had a order that damn near took a year from order from delivery to install, and that's a lot of time for a window and a client to wait. But we weren't, we couldn't get our hands faster on it. Called Ryan millions of times about it.
Trends and timeless designs, great question. White, never going anywhere. True. White windows will always be here.
Yeah.
It matches everything. It flows with everything. I think grids are here to stay. Just depends on the style of the grids. Like maybe the checkered, that might be leaving, but the less is more grid pattern, like a too wide, too high.
Yep.
I see that staying, and everyone loves bold colors.
Yes.
Which would be like your black windows. It pops, and I think white windows are here to stay. I think that's super important. If I were to build my home, I would go with whatever my wife wanted.
You are a smart man. You are a smart man.
I'm hoping that it's some bold colors, but at the end of the day, I'll create that foundation and she can choose.
Oh boy, like for a man that's not married, he's trained well.
Yes.
I love that.
I'm just gonna say that because that's. Let me say, how many decisions were brought up or made by my wife that I thought that I was gonna solely make them, and she made them because of no reasons of why I brought that to the attention of why we should go in that direction. It's like, no, I like that color better.
You figure out the layout, where the rooms are going to be, the structural, the engineering. But honey, when it comes to the colors, that's me. That's the wife's role.
That's literally. So I'm gonna just tell you guys something funny that happened in the middle of our build, and I talked to my wife about everything, and we designed the house, and we did everything together, and whatever, and it came to the point, and I was like, that's where the mini splits are gonna go, and mini splits are like these units that is for AC, right? Because I have radiant heat, and I was gonna go with mini splits for AC, but each section had it would have a different head, and it would have a different zone, right? So, and I showed her what it looked like. She's like, I don't want that. I was like, what do you mean you don't want that? Like, we designed our entire house around this. Like, I got no other options to do this. It's like, nope, that's ugly. I don't want that hanging on any of my walls. I was like, we are too late for that. Guess what we're not too late for? Putting in a furnace in our house that I really did not need, but I need it now to run the AC. So she has AC that is coming through tiny duct. That was the only thing that I could have come up at that point in time because we had no way, we have not designed a way to transport these ducks throughout the entire thing, especially our home being SIP home, and it was mind-boggling.
Compliments all to your home. I've seen it. I saw it getting built. I saw the plans. I remember the ideas. It's wonderful to see, and it's absolutely stunning. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations for everything you've built here. You've created a legacy, a place where multiple people wake up every morning and they're excited to come to work.
Thank you, bro.
A place that homeowners can trust for renovating their most important part of their life, which is their home.
Thank you.
So congratulations from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful to be working with you.
Well, likewise. Yeah. I'm glad to see both of us.
It's a privilege I can provide you with Marvin product and Provia product.
I look forward to working with you every day. So
always.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.